Now, this may seem like a loaded question, but what's a woman looking for, when she, goes down that path, whether it's an audio thing, whether it's a visual, whether it's a book she's reading. Do you think there's some things uniquely that a woman is seeking deep down, more than just the potential arousal, the sensuality of the images for a few moments? Do you think there's some unique things that the feminine heart is longing for that if a woman understood, like, this is what I'm really after? You're pointing out human intimacy and things like that. When a woman clicks, when a woman listens or reads that type of a book, what do you think it is that the feminine soul is aching for at the deepest level?
Well, it's interesting. I would say it is similar to men in the sense that we're all seeking relationship. And I often talk, through my book and when I give talks, is there is an innate identity of who we are as men and women that comes from God himself, right? You look at Genesis, you look at God saying that man is made in the image and likeness of God. And looking at what does that mean? What is the image and likeness of God? Because if we're made in that image, that must be important. And looking at God himself is a relational being. He's three persons in one. And that's really important for us because man and woman are all made for relationship, which ultimately is fulfilled only through our Creator. So most often this desire for sex, for pornography, masturbation, if it's in this disordered way, is a desire to get to the highest level of relationship, which is through God. But our earthly, distortion of that makes you think you can grasp at it in these lesser ways that will be unfulfilling. But as a woman, I think our desire as a daughter of God to be beloved and to have that unity with our Father gets broken down in many different ways that our world has kind of almost elevated us for the perfect setup. The way that we're taught that we should desire, men and relationships is from our own beauty, is that we are supposed to be the ones attracting the male, that in order to be worthy of love and a good relationship, we have to start with who we are, which is completely opposite of what God says, right? Like God is the pursuer, but he never says, come to me. He's the one coming to us every step of the way. And I think women just desire and ache for the desire to be known and to be pursued and to have that. And so I think these addictions, these falls, essentially are just a way for us to escape that's like, this is what it is, because every woman's story is going to be different. But I often have seen a trend of women saying, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, saying that this is a way for them to forget all of those feelings of inadequacy, of alone, like loneliness that they're feeling. And for just a moment, they can feel, loved, desired, and like they're not alone. And so I think our desire as a woman is to be fulfilled, and it can only be through God. And so I don't know if that perfectly answers your question, but I think the woman heart definitely desires all of those things.
Yeah, no, I hadn't thought of it before you mentioned that, but it seems like there's almost a puzzle piece connection between the male porn problem preceding that of the female. Because if what the woman is really longing for is to be enough, to be pursued, to be captivating to the heart of a man, and he's a porn addict, or you have a culture of pornified men who've basically grown up with this garbage on their cell phones since they've been in 7th grade, and they're not pursuing anybody. And it's not because the woman's not attractive enough, because that's what the girls fall into is, well, I've got to be skinnier and I've got to be smaller here and bigger there and all that stuff, and then I'm going to captivate the guy. But I mean, it's not that there's something lacking in her, because look, guys aren't faithful to one porn website or porn model. It just trains them in this mental polygamy. And in the man's brain, it's like, well, if I can get instant access to thousands of flawless supermodels who have no demands, no emotional needs, who will never deny me, who will never reject me, who are constantly sexually available, physically flawless, and when I'm done with them, I just leave. I remember who it was that said, when a man, I think it was G.K. Chesterton or C.S. Lewis, that said, when a man goes to a prostitute, he's not paying her for sex, he's paying her to leave. And it's like, whoa, he's not paying her for sex, he's paying her to leave. And in a sense, that's what pornography is. You're investing in this so she'll leave, so that she's accessible when you want, and then you just discard her. And when you've got guys just that have grown up on this pornified culture, and then they turn 17 years old, they're not asking anybody to homecoming. What? Risk rejection? I have to listen to her? She's got emotional needs? Ugh. I mean, the demands way too much. No thanks. Back to some porn on Instagram. And so if the guys are getting emasculated through the porn, they're no longer initiating that kind of gift of life-giving love. They're no longer risking. Then the girls think, oh, well, I must be the problem. It's because I'm not skinny enough. It's because I'm not sexually available enough that maybe I just need to throw myself out there more. And girls start, I think, even out of curiosity, looking at porn. Like, okay, now what do I need to look like? And what do I need to do? And who do I need to be? But I always tell the women, like, you were never created to be porn. You were created to be loved. And so I think so much of this is kind of, now that I'm thinking through it, just kind of coming from a culture of pornified guys. They're not pursuing. Girls think they're the problem. And now they're aching more than anything to be pursued. And in the absence of someone saying you are captivating, they're finding some semblance of human connection through the porn and this and that.